Again.
Okay, could we just have some kind of check if the sound is improved?
I'll do another A message.
Who do you guys want to get in here?
Slick, if possible.
I don't think he's still around.
He said he was watching the stream, and if we needed anything, we could call him in. But I'm not sure where he is just now. In his absence, maybe we could get Holmes? I think that would be an interesting person to speak to.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Alright, gentlemen, I'm going to leave you to it.
Oh, but,
Yes.
Patch.
Yeah. God damn. Alright, guys, have a nice afternoon, evening. Bye-bye.
Take care, but cheers.
Nice job, nice job. Bye-bye.
Had to try.
Indeed, indeed. Not giving much away as usual.
He's keeping it close to his chest. Holmes says he'll come on, so I just give him my Skype name.
Definitely be interesting to see the IDK insight on what happened on the first map.
I think Holmes would be a good person to speak to there, actually. If we really want to narrow down their problems, we'll say they were all on offense that map, as much as anything.
I'd also really like to know...
Holmes says he has no Skype. I don't really trust Mumble, so I'll see if I can get hold of someone else.
Well, we had sound issues with Mumble before, so I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the first map was actually a bit of a misleading one, really, because it set us up for a really exciting game, and we ended up being a bit shortchanged, I think, on the other maps. Just feels like small changes would really help Way here, though. Just some minor adjustments. If they could get Grouper full time, I think that would be strong for them. Arcadizzle says he'd like to come on, so we can get Arcadizzle on, I guess.
Sure.
I'll give him the Skype information. And Holmes, well, Holmes is fixing his stuff. Okay, so we can have Arky and then Holmes. Alright, that will be interesting, I think, as well. Right, yeah, we need to kill some time, I think, while we're waiting for these two. I think Way are playing again tomorrow versus Finland. For Finland's epic return. I mean, they may have bitten off more than they can chew here with the vastly improved Way team.
Yeah, see if Finland will make a victorious return and be the phoenix from the ashes, or if they will be stunned by the resurgent workings intended. I think if they can build on what they did on the first map, they can really give Finland some problems. And it'll be interesting to see as well what has changed with Finland since they decided to take a break and come back.
Okay, I think whoever's hosting the call needs to add Arcadizzle.
Hold on.
Okay. And no, not quite yet. Should be imminent though, so there we go. It's being called up now. Hello!
Hi, can you hear me alright?
Yep,
sounds good
for me. Alright, so this is Arcadizzle then. Would you maybe want to briefly introduce yourself for those who've not yet come across you in the Tribes community?
Yep, I've been playing comp games for quite a few years now. Played Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2, and now I'm come to play Tribes Ascend alongside my friends from other games like MVC, and I'm playing predominantly Sentinel.
Okay, yeah, just one question I have outside of the game today. Do you have any other classes unlocked?
I do. I've got them all unlocked, but I haven't got much XP on any of them.
Okay, good. You definitely favour the Sentinel. I mean, you were having your doubts before about its viability in comp play, but after Catra, it seemed like you really having quite an influence there. What do you think about the game today, from your perspective?
I think the Shrike play is quite an issue for us. dealing with it, we had a lot of discussion beforehand, like how inevitably they were going to roll out 2 Shrikes, and they've got incredible Shrike players. So dealing with that was always going to be an issue, and especially with Mono and Streen, who both really struggle. I mean, Shrikes put them to 15 FPS, especially on maps like Dry Dock. We physically couldn't play Arcs if we wanted to. I don't think they could. They'd get nothing, literally nothing. So yeah.
That's interesting. Do you find Arcs to be lower frame rate than, say, Dry Dock?
From the discussion we had earlier, I think that's an issue for them. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, well, we were talking to Bart earlier, and he was saying that they feel like they've sort of narrowed down what one of the issues is with the FPS on those maps, and it is to do with Shrikes. So hopefully that will be fixed. It's really sad that, you know, in a game that you can have such problems coming down to just simple performance issues, and obviously we're playing a beta, but it's quite, you know, it's disheartening for you to have those problems.
Yeah, especially when there shouldn't really be any issues with that. I mean, it's what's that, Unreal 3 engine, and all the other games run fine. Why shouldn't Tribes?
Well, I'm sure they'll fix it in time.
I'm sure in one of the regular weekly patches will address the issue.
Fingers crossed.
One of the interesting things I noticed when we were playing Catabatic, in the standoffs you took up a position on the hill so that you could snipe their carrier as well as defending your own. Was that like a pre-planned move, or was it just a moment of inspiration?
That was my personal strategy for standoffs. I haven't actually discussed that with anyone. I think they thought I was still hard on defense. I think you could see, especially early in the game, our defense when we were holding the flags on standoff was really, really strong, and the precision you can get with the Sentinel if you move it into offense. I mean, Loach, I don't know if you remember yesterday we were playing a mix with you, and I did the same thing on Dry Dock. I moved it into a sort of an offensive position where it could be useful to the defense as well if I had to be, and yeah, it's just I just love playing it offense. It's just a shame that it works so much better as a defensive class.
Yeah, the standoff strategy there. Had you planned to be playing into a lot of standoffs? Was there a long discussion beforehand about how to handle standoffs, or was it just sort of improvised on the fly?
The majority of the discussion beforehand was about how to deal with double Shrike. I don't think we really discussed anything else. But I think now we may find ourselves playing towards standoffs a lot more, given how strong that actually went for us.
I mean, you ended up with quite a lot of defense during the standoffs, but was that really what you wanted, or?
No, I mean, we were thinking that the game currently really heavily favours offense, and if you move 6 players onto defense, thinking that you'll then be able to push them out once you've cleared the offensive push, if you don't kill people fast enough, you can find yourself stuck on defense, stuck hard on defense, and they can move more and more players onto offense without fear of reprisal, and that was one of the things we discussed beforehand. So the fact that it actually ended up going defense heavy in standoffs wasn't something we expected at all.
Okay, so do you feel like you suffered for it then, in terms of increasing amounts of pressure, or?
No, we were impressed. Yes, there was a lot of pressure on us as a result of it, but I think we did quite well. And when we do something like that, I actually having used that positioning for Sentinel, I can, if we're happy doing something like that again, I can move quite confidently do that, and it can make a real difference to the offense.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the Cata result, are we disappointed in that, or?
I think we're more impressed with ourselves for how we did in the first 20 minutes of the game. We're not going to get caught up on the last like 3 or 4 minutes. We actually, I think we really played a great game, and the main difference was our comms were calm and everyone was just like, we were actually having fun for once, whereas when we normally play as a team, it can be a bit of a chore trying to work things out. Every situation is new at this point. No one knows how to deal with what's going on, so there's a lot of discussion and stuff like that.
How do you feel Greeper did for you guys today?
He's a great player. He really is a great player. I've said this to him before. He's an awesome player. But I don't know whether if you're about to ask, are you going to try and make a move on him or anything like that? I don't know what's going on with that or anything.
I feel like his true score ranking took quite a hit today. So
yeah, I said that to him when he left. Not as much as mine.
I was going to ask about the Hoff. I know it's something I've seen you experiment with before, but it's not something we see from many other teams. How did you feel it worked across all of the maps?
It's hard for me to say because I get a very skewed perception of the game. Playing, especially, I think we were rolling on Bella, weren't we? Quite hard.
Yeah.
I am sat at the top of the tower. I cannot see what's going on down the bottom, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But Mono decided to do it. He revealed that he was going to do it just before the game. And I mean, it didn't work. It wasn't awful, was it? Whether or not it's as like I personally feel we'd probably be strong with the Ranger, given the state Ranger's in at the moment, and actually how hard it is to body block someone, especially with that flag reach perk. So that's my personal opinion on it. But I mean, we don't discuss it. I don't know how the guys actually found it on point.
Yeah, I think it's good to see teams trying new things, because it's very easy to get caught up in the whole competitive element of it and like wanting to win every game and everything. But I think at the same time, it's a beta. A lot's going to change with the game, and it should be at this point, I think, a lot more about discovery than, especially when you sort of see things like, and everybody's guilty of it, 7 Rangers and a Sentinel on both teams, and you just think, well, I suppose in a way it shows high res that perhaps Rangers need addressing, but it's kind of depressing. You want to see perhaps a bit more experimentation in these games.
Yeah, you want to see some variety, and I think that this patch coming up will really do something for that. And I'm really hoping that it's going to include some new classes as well. So hopefully we'll see some changes to the sort of the meta game, if you know what I mean. We'll see some real variation and a lot of experimentation, especially if there's something to do with class customization there.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. Any other questions, Loach, Mim?
No. So well played today on Counter, especially. I think it was good that you've challenged them at least on 2 maps now. I know before the game you guys were confident of maybe being able to beat them at some point soon. But you're getting there, I think.
Yeah, we've rather decided that we're not going to win any games for the next few weeks, but we're confident that we can be real contenders when we've mastered the basics that we don't have. Not coming from a tribes background. Thank you very much for the cast. It's been fantastic.
Cheers. Thanks. Cheers. I think we've got Holmes available to speak to us now, so we can replace Arky with him. Now is Holmes coming to the call? I think you need to add him again. Mim?
Yes, hold on.
He's not tested his Skype though, so there's a possibility this might go wrong. But we're just going to wing it, I think. Definitely think Holmes should be a good one to talk to about Catterback if we can get him on. Really,
yeah, I'd really like to know what went on with the IDK offense on that map.
And the call is calling. Hello, Holmes, are you with us?
I think so. Is this shit working?
Yeah, this shit is
less
working.
of this shit, but yeah, we're good to go, I think.
This is a Crambless stream, just so you know.
So, Holmes, can you introduce yourself shortly?
Sure, I'll try that. Hello, I'm Holmes. I've played with IDK in T2 for ages. Before that, I played with Sons of Odin, also T2. I completely missed Tribes 1 for whatever reason. That's my backstory. Played a bit of Tribes Vengeance as well, but the grappler got really easy quite quickly for me, so I skipped that completely, I think.
Which do you think ruins capping and defense more? The Scrambler pack or the grappler?
Ooh. I think the grappler.
Really? You think the grappler is even more of a
Grappler
game breaker
was
than the
fucking
Scrambler?
horrible.
That's interesting.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Right, so question today to you, Holmes, really. What happened on Catterback? Because, I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I blamed you. How do you feel it went?
I played horribly in Catterback, but I've always turned to Krista, really, when blame needs to be placed.
And he was not there, was he? I mean...
Yeah, so it was entirely his fault. No, to be honest, I think Wade did a really good job at during standoffs and keeping the flag home. I think they just did a really good job. I can't really fault them in any way.
Okay, credit to Wade there. Yeah. They ran a Hoff. Did you feel like you were getting stopped by the Hoff a lot, or...?
Mostly with his butt, actually. when he wasn't looking, he actually blocked me a lot more. I don't feel Hoff makes much of a difference if the generator's down, to be fair.
Potentially there's a vulnerability of a scrambler to a Hoff there, with the inability to clear the flag for himself.
I don't know, with flag reach I don't feel Hoff being much of an issue. But if you have, on Bella at least, they had I think 4 people around the flag. And that was really enough to body block me by, random.
Although on Bella I think you guys definitely seem to be getting a lot more flags out of their base.
Yeah, but they did a pretty good job there on defense as well. At least just being in the way a lot. And that's a good thing, I guess.
Okay, and capping with 7 seconds to go on Katabati, how did that make you feel?
That was good. I was well pleased with that one.
Would you say it was more Slick's influence, or just having an 8th player that really brought it around for you now?
Oh dear. I don't think, well, all respect to Slick, but he hasn't played that much. And
oh wow.
Well,
apparently according to his rank though, he's played more than Trash Bash or Peace, so I'm not sure when he's done that.
More than me, actually.
Yeah. Maybe you guys are being too hard on Slick.
It was great that we had the extra player. We really, once we realised that Krista was missing, that took us quite a while actually. I think we were 5 minutes without Krista without realising he was missing.
Yeah, it was an interesting point that we picked up on the cast. How exactly do you miss having someone like on comms?
Especially when he's the guy flying around in a huge vehicle in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know how we missed it, to be fair. I think we were just focused. That's my excuse.
Fair enough. Is Slick present on Mumble during all your games at the moment in some kind of management role, or did you just rapidly get him in?
Oh no, yeah. He actually had his step-parents over, and while they know he manages an esports team and all that stuff, I don't think they were too pleased about him disappearing during dinner to play with us. But I told him that he should just tell his step-parents that the internet needed him, and there really was no way to get around it.
Well, I think it worked out as being the right choice at the time anyway, because you guys managed to save that map.
Yeah, it was a good thing he showed up, definitely. But yeah, we miss Krista.
So yeah, we're pinning the blame on Krista for that one, aren't we?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, good. Glad that we got that sorted
Just
out.
Italy in general, I think.
Okay. But Krista did make his return actually, and was fairly uninfluential. I felt like the rest of the game actually. It was quite a quiet game for him.
Really?
Yeah. Did you feel that, or?
No, I think he's always doing a pretty good job. He's always on the spot.
Okay.
That's where to be.
Alright, so a bit more Krista love from Holmes here then. I mean,
Always.
we're normally big fans of Krista. Just thought today he was a bit off his game.
Well, yeah, internet downtime does that.
Maybe breaks the concentration.
I think, when you're talking about being big fans of someone, you could probably rename this cast the Tool Cast. As
Really?
we're big fans of Tool. How do you feel his performance was today? We really saw him do some huge plays for the team, especially on Bella Omega.
Tell me about that.
Well, he got a return at some point with 3 working as intended players around him, and he got another return when you were at 2-2, just around the working as intended base. It just seems like he's usually the one on offense that tends to pop up at the vital time and get those clutch returns.
Yeah, he is good. But no, actually, for me, playing this capping role I've been put into, it's quite difficult to actually get a feel for who's doing what and what's going on. I'm just sitting on the edge of the map waiting for regrab, you know.
Do you feel with you playing more of this capping role, we might finally see Creature being forced out of the team?
Yeah, that is very likely to happen.
Yeah, I think that would be a strong move. I mean, if there was just anyone else available, really. What about a Visk, possibly, or Slick?
Slick especially. No, really, I think we have a pretty good team at the moment. We have a very good chemistry and we have very good communication. Although today our communication, I felt at least, was a little lacking or just not as good as it usually is.
Fair enough. Do you feel like you underestimated Way on the first map, possibly, or they were just...
No, I think they played well. I mean, Streen is always... He's just away with the flag. He plays really well. And I think as we move forward as well, I think it's going to be very difficult for D to keep flags home, generally. I think even teams that aren't in very top play will always get caps, I think, in the future. If they can keep the flag home at least long enough and coordinate well within their O and get a clean grab, you can't really stop them.
I agree with you there, actually. I think the power of offense at the moment is a great leveler, if anything, in terms of like team's performance. I think it creates much closer games than like is really accurate.
Yeah, I think really feel like a defense needs some method of gaining speed quicker.
You think chasing maybe would solve it, or?
I think it would make for a lot more interesting game to watch, at least. If you had proper chasing. I don't know what the answer is really, but Scrambler doesn't make it easier.
I mean, the way I see it is in Tribes 2 base, you couldn't really, like, aside from a half stopper capper on the stand either, unless he got hit by your mine that you already had there. Yeah, but that was a chasing thing, really. I mean, like, the guy got the flag and then moved some distance, but then you were always able to chase. I mean,
yeah.
And like now, it's like you're not often able to chase much, and you only get the one hit on them. You can't kill them there. So
yeah, and a lot of the maps actually allow for back grabs. I guess that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think we always end up talking about the same issues with defense. Really, I guess that's the problem of not having had a patch yet. We end up repeating ourselves, but okay.
Yeah, I suppose so. But did you guys enjoy the match? I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know.
The first map's really exciting, actually. I think, although it's a bit many standoffs. How did you feel those went, actually? And it seems like the offense was a bit piecemeal at times. Towards the end of the game, it improved a lot. And you definitely came in a much more coordinated fashion.
Yeah, that was really all we were trying to do at the end there. We at the beginning of it, I was expecting returns, so I was actually waiting for regrabs, and they didn't come. Communicate properly. Obviously, missing a player didn't help. But now we got our shit together, act together, and we got some good coordination going, I think, for the retrieves. But all power to Way, I think they did a really good job on the standoffs. We didn't take that on the gen immediately either, but we saw they had the deployable turrets up. We should have done that.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I've exhausted my brain of questions. Oh, actually, a big question for you, unrelated to today's game. With you playing for IDK, are we not going to see the return of SOO at any point in the future?
Have you asked Executus the same question?
I have. Okay. All you hear is a baby crying in the background, and then he has to go. So.
Right, that's Odin, I think, actually.
Oh.
The Sons of Odin days. No, it was a lot of fun playing with Sons of Odin, and I think we had a pretty good team going at one point. But I think we only have Kassat now, Executus and me left. Okay,
so you're going to pretty much favour no.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless McMeany makes a return.
You'd have to build a team around McMeany then.
So completely, I'd be happy to build a team around McMeany. He was a badass.
Okay. Alright, well we won't be waiting with bated breath for that or anything.
No, I don't think so.
Do you find it interesting at the moment though that we have these, I mean both us and IDK are very European teams, very diverse like cultural background. But Finland have got the
Brits, actually. I'm surprised by the amount of Brits in the game currently.
Yeah, Brits are typically horrible at games. I'm surprised as well, actually, that there's so many floating around the upper end of the scene. But that probably won't stay for very long, I think, if enough Swedes get involved.
Maybe not. Sorry, what was the full question?
I don't know, it was just more of a sort of train of thought, I think. Train of thought even. But yeah, Danes definitely should have their own team.
I think it's pretty diverse. It would be fun to actually do some cup or national league matches at some point.
We should. That would be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but at the moment, I think what we really want is just a patch, more than anything.
Yeah, any patch really. Yeah.
Please. That's it. Yeah, information about when a patch is coming would be fantastic as well.
Oh, if only we had communication with someone from Hi-Res, on a daily basis, that'd be great.
We tried. He wouldn't spill anything.
That's a shame.
He literally laughed at us when we asked about the patch.
Really?
Actually, I think he just muted me, but Okay, well, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps things up here. Cool. Thanks for coming, Holmes.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, great, man. It was a pleasure. Yeah, see you, man.
Take care, Holmes. Thank you.
Say goodbye, Mim.
Yeah.
It's too late now. He's gone. You're terrible.
So, yeah, that was IDK versus working as intended tonight. Do we have any upcoming games in the future?
Are we casting Way versus Finland tomorrow?
Maybe.
Is that a casted thing?
Maybe. I don't know. Yes.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. Great.
Maybe. So yeah, well, this was Hindsight TV for tonight. If you want to talk to us, we are on Hindsight. We are in the channel Hindsight on QuakeNet. It's ircquakenet.org. We're also on Twitter if you want to follow us about competitive games. That is at Hindsight with a Z on the end. And you can also check out the vodcasts. That's at Hindsight Tribes on YouTube. So this game will probably be up tomorrow. Do you guys have anything to add before I close it down?
Just do a quick plug for a new video I'm working on, which is like a compilation highlight video of the casts of the Hindsight games so far. That will probably be done by the end of the week, so sort of next weekend. And we also released a video last week, which was a promotional video for the TA Mixed channel, which is basically a community effort to get some competitive games going outside of the clan scrims. We've set up a clan on Beyond Gaming for those people who aren't whitelisted to get whitelisted, so they can get involved in competitive play and play mixed. And yeah, just try and build the competitive community. Have some more games. I think we've had about 10 plus games over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and we'll probably maybe have a late one tonight. It's good fun. Get to know the other players who are interested in Tribes competitive play. Check out the video on youtube.com/hindsighttribes.
So yeah, also this was Tribes Ascent, a game by Hi-Res Studios. Currently in closed beta. If you're interested to play this game, your best bet is to bug Hi-Res Bard on Twitter or like them on Facebook to get your closed beta key. So thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.